folks, I'm Azalea and you're watching my YouTube channel Way Crunchy. Today I'm doing a follow-up on the video I did on how to cheapest start your raised garden beds. So I started my garden beds the cheapest way possible, and now we're in late July. So let's take a look at how my garden is doing. One thing that's super important that I want to tell you is that is how to get started for the cheapest way possible. So that's not much soil if you watch the video. You are going to be getting your own compost going, and you're going to need to fertilize later in the season, like now-ish. So you want to top dress with your compost, and then in the years to come, your garden's going to get better and better and better because you're layering in more and more and more nutrients and materials that's really going to allow your garden to explode and thrive. So once you get started, you gotta keep on working on that garden. Here we are at the raised garden beds that I started for super cheap by layering in tons of sticks, dry leaves, cardboard to kill the grass, and then just getting started with a minimal amount of the bagged soil. Super minimal amount just around each plant. So here we have a raised bed. Now I had some of my early spring crops that have already been picked and plucked out of here, and still we have the chard, parsley, basil, and chamomile, thyme. So we got a lot of good things going in here, but if you'll notice, it looks a little different. The plants grew a lot bigger. And let me tell you, I have had meal after meal off these chard plants. I recommend chard. You just snip the leaves from the outer edge, and the stalks are real good, kind of like celery. Use that all the time in the kitchen. But what you'll notice is as I had compost become ready, and not super duper brown fine stuff, there was still some stuff that needed to decompose, but mostly ready compost. I stuck it in here, and then I layered on sticks as mulch. The mulch that I have made here from sticks will incorporate in later years on into the soil here. Let's take a look at how late July cheaply started garden bed is doing. So this is our chard. You can tell I've been harvesting, nice thick stem here, and I just harvest and harvest. Some basil. So what you see is I did add some of the partially finished compost as it became readily available to the soil that I got from the bags, and also just some of that rich clay dirt from around the yard. Whenever I'd have a little, I could throw over in here, which just adds bulk. And I make my own mulch from the sticks that fall from the trees. This year it's mulch, next year it's going to be working into this soil. Chamomile, I've been harvesting a ton of that for tea, drying out the flowers. Thyme, lettuce bed. Cayenne. Back here we have a bell pepper, a sweet bell pepper, one of those rainbow varieties. Got a nice black one here. Tom's personal garden. I haven't touched this. It's whatever my little 7-year-old has felt he can do. But he's been growing his sweet peppers, so he's getting a little something done here. I've got a lot of stuff that I put straight in the ground. Part of this area is where my original compost pile was before I moved it on the other side of the yard. So there was already a little bit of an increased nutrient value over here. If you see, I've got this cucumber growing up on a log. I really like that. Keeps the fruit up off the ground. I wish I had one I hadn't picked to show you. Patty pan. Daga, something one of my yoga students brought to me that she'd started from seed. Hyssop. tomatoes, peppers, flowers, squash. It's super hot, so they're getting that middle of the day wilting action going on. Up here on the trail, I've got a lot of things growing alongside this fence. Shade, I've got a few herb patches, lemon balm. I'm using my stick mulch again. Peppermint, oregano. Over here, I believe they're Chinese beans. Anyway, I'm gonna grow these. I'll show you how long some of these beans are coming in. They're gonna be super long red beans, and this vine is growing great on the trellis. I like to throw in some nasturtium flowers anywhere I can. You can eat the leaves and the flowers. And then I have a lot of good tomato action and sunflower action over here. Got tomatoes. Waiting for those guys to ripen up. I've got morning glories popping in all over the place. If you don't know, let me just tell you, morning glories are so invasive with their reseeding. Morning glories, I would never purposely plant a morning glory. This is all from whoever lived here before reseeding. Morning glories are like big no in a Azalea's garden, but I let a few live. They give me nice flowers in the morning. Love to do my super tall sunflowers everywhere I live. They also give a great little bit of privacy hug. Here along the front of the barn, I've got zinnias, brain celosia, bachelor buttons, and then I made another little privacy hedge of sunflowers over on the other side. But if you'll see, obviously this is great for pollinators. But I also tried these new seeds, these dwarfed teddy bear sunflowers. There's one of our pollinator friends. They're really different, and they're not, you know, for sunflower seeds, but they're beautiful. Definitely want to save some. I love these. I want to grow these again. I love these little dwarf teddy bear ones. Tiny little cowpea patch over here, and if you ever need privacy, just throw some sunflower seeds in the ground. It's all about getting started. It's not about having the best, most beautiful garden that's bountiful like a farm, although it may be. It's about getting started, and every year you'll do better, and you have to start back at square one when you move to a new location, but you'll have knowledge, and your microbes will be established from your compost. Bring that with you to the new location. But for me, home is absolutely where I'm able to grow things, to grow my plants, to grow my children, to grow my spirit. So just get started the cheapest, easiest way you can. Anyone can get started gardening, anyone. And there is no wrong way. Just seek knowledge and experience and try it and just get started. We have more videos on Patreon where so many of you have been generous enough to support me on this journey and in my messages. And stay tuned for the next videos. Love you guys.